as always. What is up, Nick? As always, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm here. Nick is always here. I'm the dude. I abide.
The
No,
dude about the Nick as always abides. Awesome.
that's
Well,
right.
we are here today to talk about some movie news, a little bit of video game news, just entertainment news overall, as we do each week. It's good that you guys can hear us because I remember to unmute it. I see that there's a few of you already here. And I'm sure more will come as we go on. Now, I got nothing big, no big reviews or anything today. Hopefully, we'll have something for Saturday. But today, we do have a trailer reaction, and we have a couple of other stories. We're going to talk about some San Diego Comic-Con stuff, which is mostly Marvel stuff. We also are going to be talking about. Whoops, sorry.
It's the intro.
I always
The
forget
intro
to
keeps
turn that
going down.
off. Anyway, we're going to be talking about some Marvel announcements and stuff like that and how we feel about those. We're going to be talking about some other Marvel news, some movies that have been announced that aren't Marvel. I know, shocker. Possible returning film/show that I'm looking forward to. And just some other little things, some interesting video game news. Really, only real one straight up video game story. The other ones are like Saturday related to movies. But anyway, let's go ahead or I don't know. Actually, before we do, I did want to say, before we jump right into this thing, I wanted to say to everybody, check out tonight. I will be live streaming at 9 o'clock my time, which is 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern, but also Nick is going to be streaming tonight, and he's going to be
I
streaming a
am.
bit earlier than me. I'm going to let him tell you about that because he has a very special day, period of time. Is today the actual day? Tell us about it, Nick. What is going on? Why are you streaming tonight, and is today the actual day, or is it just kind of like I do, like a roundabout time?
I mean, it's a special day. I ate a piece of chicken that tasted glorious, so I have to talk about it.
Hey, he's going to be a real boy.
I've turned into a donkey, that type of thing. No, yeah, actually my channel was started 4 years ago. Technically, it was like a week ago when I actually started the channel, when I actually turned my name YouTube over to Movie Emporium. But today is the first official day where I first posted my first official review, which of course was Mission Impossible Fallout, and that Bo Burnham teen comedy film that came out, which I can't remember the name of. Anyways, I posted 2 reviews that day, and you can go back and watch them. They're pretty bad, but yeah, today, I think around noonish 4 years ago, I posted 2 videos, and those were the 2 videos, and it went from there. So yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna be
awesome.
live streaming a 4th anniversary thing tonight.
And you'll be live streaming playing,
Yeah,
is it What
hopefully.
the Dub or
Yes. Yep.
okay. Yeah, so you guys check that out on Nick's channel tonight, and after that come check mine out at 2 hours
Exactly.
later. But yeah, go play some What the Dub. It's really cool. I'm going to try and stop in as well for at least a few minutes. That's a kind of a busy time for me, but I'll definitely make an appearance in the chat or something. But yeah, congratulations on 4 years, sir. I
Thank
congratulate
you, sir.
You said that
You're getting close too, right?
September.
Yeah.
September. I don't remember the exact date because mine's kind of my first review on my channel. My first video for this channel for being Jacob Anders Reviews was it's bad, but it was actually for Fallout 4 VR. It was when I was like, oh, I'm going to be a VR channel. No, I'm going to do movies and VR. And I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. But my first movie review and that was actually in August. And then my first movie review was in September. And I kind of met in the middle and just said, hey, middle of September. That's when I usually say, I'm this many years old. That's my YouTube birthday. But you said yours are bad. Your first ones?
Oh
I
yeah,
bet
they were
mine are
shot on
worse.
iPhone with I have my lamp behind me, and I use that because I was waiting for some you have them too in it's somewhere in your room with those big box lights. I was waiting for those
Yeah.
to come in. So I just like screw it, I'm gonna shoot on an iPhone, and yeah, it's just me standing against the wall against 2 posters and going Mission Impossible
Hey man,
Fallout.
don't feel bad. My first one was shot on a Samsung whatever Note, and I didn't have lights. I had a lamp. I didn't even know anything about lighting, and I didn't have any coming either. I got mine
Right.
like a year later. I worked off of shop lights with parchment paper rubber banded around them, and it was a while till I got those. But yeah, mine was, yeah, it was bad. I had a computer desk and some monitors behind me that weren't even hooked up to anything. That's it. And it was,
Gotta start somewhere.
it was all compressed wrong and everything. My first one's my head looks huge because it was like compressing it and then stretching it and all that. And I shot it in 1080p, but it was actually showing up in like, I don't know, 2i. It was bad, real bad. My first reviews, ladies and gentlemen. If nothing else, regardless of what people say about my channel, I can look back at those videos and say I'm better than I was then. But
Exactly.
I'm going to go back and watch those. I'm pretty sure I've seen them, but I haven't seen them for a while. So I'm going to go back and watch your Mission Impossible Fallout video so I can get a look at it. Man, if I'd known, I should have thought of that. I would have played it today.
Oh Jesus, please don't.
Oh, I definitely would have. But anyway, yeah, you guys check out Nick's stream over at Movie Emporium tonight, and then mine later in the day. But go join some What the Dub action tonight. It's a really fun game. Alrighty, well, I don't think there's anything else going on this week besides the news we're talking about, so let's jump right into today's first story, and that would be San Diego Comic Con and all the juiciness there. Now we're not gonna talk about everything that popped off at San Diego Comic Con because that'd just be a whole lot of shit, and we ain't got time for that. But I am gonna talk mainly about Marvel because they came out with a whole bunch of stuff. They announced a slew of things, and we're going to probably miss some things. We're just going to kind of skim over it, but I want to get Nick's feelings on some of it. We haven't really talked about it like a ton as of yet, like our feelings on it, just a few things. So I wanted to get his real-time reactions at some of that and maybe let you guys know some stuff as well. So first on the list, now I compiled a lot of this just all together. Like I said, they announced a bunch of things. I'm going to throw some of this out there and then we'll discuss. Phase 4 will be completed with Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which we did get our first trailer for on Friday or Saturday, I believe it was, and pretty much the world collectively has seen that at this point. After that, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania will be out February 17th, 2023, so really not that long from now. And this will be the official launch of Phase 5. So I guess there's no movies between whenever Black Panther comes out and Ant-Man and the Wasp. After that, we've got Blade, which I had heard that it was going to be called The Blade. It's just called Blade. I'm happy they did that because The Blade sounds fucking stupid. But Blade will be debuting November 3rd, 2023. Captain America, New World Order, with Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Nothing against Anthony Mackie. I think he's a great actor, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Is set for May 3rd, 2024. Thunderbolts, which will close out Phase 5, oddly enough, will release on July 26th, 2024. So yeah, Phase 5 is going to be just over... Actually, that's just short of a year. It's not even going to be a full year long. Damn, I thought it was over
35,000 movies.
Yeah, it's just short of a year. And there's other movies that they have to announce. I don't know about Phase 5, but yeah, Phase 5 is going to be really short. We'll talk about that in a minute, though. But Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four is also scheduled to hit theaters November 8th, 2024. And Kevin Feige revealed that Phase 6 will kick off with Fantastic Four, and it will end in 2025 with two new Avengers movies, Avengers The Kang Dynasty on May 2nd, and Avengers Secret Wars on November 7th. And according to Feige, Phase 4, 5, and 6 make up what is now being dubbed the Multiverse Saga, which they're saying follows Phase 1, 2, and 3's Infinity Saga. So, okay, I know that was a lot of info, a lot of releases or announcements and all this and that. What are your thoughts on this, Nick? Where do you stand on all this? I mean, I'm sure it's a lot of info. Just where you stand, man?
Yeah, there is a lot to talk about when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe or the Multiverse Saga. We've talked about this before. I appreciate what Marvel's done, but like comic books in general, in the saturation of what Marvel is doing. I know they helped with the pandemic and stuff like that, but good lord, how many films do we need to have? How many TV shows? We didn't even talk. You didn't even mention the TV shows.
Yeah, I
Like,
was
there's
going
so much. I'm looking forward to some of them. Like, I'm looking forward to Quantum Mania because of, Bill Murray, and I heard MODOK's going to be in it, which is awesome. I'm looking forward to some of these, but like I like She-Hulk. I don't care about it. I'm sure She-Hulk's gonna be great, but I don't care about it.
I mean, I wouldn't say it'd be great. It might be good, but I don't really put my faith in Marvel at this point. Is kind of like I am no longer going to say it's reliable, but I'm cautiously optimistic. That's our phrase for the past few weeks.
Yeah, Daredevil's like 18 episodes in the first season. I'm like, no,
really?
I love Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know they announced it. Jesus, why? Whatever. Moving on.
But just overall, it's too much. We talked about before we went live. DC's doing like a couple films. I know DC struggled, but I'm more looking forward to the Shazam than half of the stuff they announced for Marvel, and it's just because Marvel's just overloaded. I can't handle it anymore. It's just like it's so much. I don't even want to talk about it on my reviews anymore because it's just so much, so much.
I hear you. That's where I'm at. I'm just like, it's oversaturation, and that whole superhero fatigue thing that they talk about. It's all Marvel. It's not like, it's because nobody. I mean, yeah, there are other superhero movies for sure, but they're just releasing so much shit. It's almost like I feel like it used to be more quality over quantity. Now it's just quantity. Just throw as much as you possibly can out there. Because I think that they feel like right now, and they're right to a degree, that their Marvel stans, they'll take in anything. They'll watch whatever. They'll say anything that they put out is great. But man, that's only going to go so far because more and more people are starting to say, hey, you're kind of losing it in some spot. You're not as reliable as you used to be. Because I'll even say, and I know I come across as kind of a Marvel hater sometimes, and I'm not that. I really, really enjoyed Marvel. I own almost all the movies up to Endgame, but man, just after Endgame, they just really fell off the map. And why I speak passionately about it is because I didn't want to. I really enjoyed those movies, and they've lost something. I don't know what it is. They've lost their direction.
No, I was gonna say, you look at like the Phase 1 movies, and before Avengers came out, just look how simple, and even though those movies cost a lot of money, they're very simple. I think there was like one a year, and they don't assault your senses to an extent where it almost becomes like mind numbing, and that's what's happening here. Like, when we went back and when I went and watched Thor: Love and Thunder, it's like, this is fine, but it's just like it's too much. I can't handle it. I don't know.
They're not
I get frustrated
anymore either. They used to give you
no, they don't have
time.
like that era of just coolness.
Yeah, it was like an event when one came out, and they used kind of like Star Wars. They used to give you time. They gave it time to they gave you time in Phase 1, 2, and 3 to get to know and care about these characters. And now they've got these last two, Phase 5 and 6. They're going in like a year. Phase 5 is less than a year, and Phase 6 it ends with Secret Wars on November 7th in 2025, and it starts on November 8th, it's only a fucking year. Phase 5 is less than a year. That's not a phase. On top of everything, they haven't even announced all of Phase 6. They're doing that at D23. They've announced 3 movies, and there's like 11 spots total. For 1 year. That's a movie a month. And that might be some TV shows thrown in there too. I don't know. But that's ridiculous. And then they're talking about how they want to have that same type of excitement and that same type of effect that they did with like Endgame and all that. That's an 11-year build-up. You have, all in all, Phase 4, 5, and 6 is going to be what? 3 years? 4? Something like that?
Yeah.
And 2 of the phases were not even a full year and half a year. You got a year and a half, or almost not even a full 2 years for 2 of your damn phases. That is ridiculous. But I mean, all that's neither here nor there. As far as just going down the list of the movies that I've got on here, like Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, that looked fine. I mean, I don't dislike Black Panther, the original one. I thought it was good. I don't think it's as great as a lot of people say, but I think it was entertaining. I did enjoy the movie. A lot of that was Michael B. Jordan. I thought, nothing against Chadwick Boseman. I thought he did a good job too. But I really liked Michael B. Jordan in that movie. But I really like Michael B. Jordan anyway. But this new one, I mean, from what I saw, it looked fine. It looked cool. I'm interested to see it. I'm not looking at it going, oh, that's not looking good. Ant-Man, haven't seen anything from that. They did show a trailer, but we can't see it as of yet. I know there's a bootleg of it out there. I haven't watched that. I'm interested in that because I really like Ant-Man. So far, I've enjoyed both those movies with Paul Rudd, and just the kind of... I've enjoyed those movies up to this point, so hopefully that one is good. They say that this one's going to be more impactful to the MCU as a whole. I guess we'll just have to wait to figure that out. Have you seen the footage, right?
Yeah, they had like a really. It was like one of those trailers where the person's like right under the screen and they're looking up. So I've seen the trailer. You can't see a lot just because of how the trailer is filmed. But I mean, it looks fine. I mean, I'm excited to see Jonathan Majors play Kang just because I like Jonathan Majors so much as an actor. But none of it really stood out as being truthfully special. I know, like I said, MODOK's supposed to be in it, and I love MODOK as a character, but I just have a feeling that he's not really going to be in it that much. And I don't know.
I mean, I liked Majors in Loki. I did enjoy.
Yeah.
I liked his. I don't know that much about Kang, like as a character that much beyond just like. I knew about as much about him as I did Thanos before Thanos was in the MCU. Admittedly, my knowledge of that world is more based in the movies, so I don't know a ton about him. But I did like the character he was playing in Loki. But I've gone on record saying I think Loki's the best thing they've put out in Phase 4, in my opinion. But I know that's just me. But I really enjoyed that show. I want more of that. As far as like this Kang Dynasty, Marvel or Avengers, I think that. Maybe I think that I don't like that name, but maybe that'll make more sense because we haven't gotten anything else about Kang. Is there going to be a build up to this Kang character? I think you said he's supposed to show up in Quantumania, and Bill Murray too. I read that. Do you know who Bill Murray's playing by chance?
He's in the trailer, but I don't know who he's playing. I have no idea who he's playing.
Well, anytime Bill Murray shows up, I'm interested to see what he's going to be doing. So I'm interested in that. Also, I didn't throw it. I didn't put it on here. I don't think, did I? No, but the director of one of the Avengers movies.
Kang Dynasty.
Yeah, Kang Dynasty is. I don't have his name up here, unfortunately. What is that director's name? Do you know the director's name? He's the director of Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it's Daniel Destin Cretton, who directed that in Just Mercy, which also had Michael B. Jordan in it. Yeah,
and I Just Mercy, that was really good. Some of his other work, he is a talented director, so I think he can do well. I wasn't as high on Shang-Chi as some people, and you enjoyed it more than me. I didn't think it was bad.
Yeah,
but it just was kind of Marvel. Especially about the end. I think I was disappointed with the end. I mean, most of the movie was fine. I was entertained enough by it. I didn't hate it. But by the end, it was just kind of like, okay, this is just a Marvel special effects extravaganza, which you get that with superhero movies, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was, compared to everything else, especially that we've gotten in Phase 4, it was very solid. It was better than a lot of those movies. I'm just curious, this is an Avengers movie. Are they going to let him actually direct? Or is it going to be one of those situations? Because you hear that a lot with the Marvel movies, is sometimes they don't let directors put their stamp on it. They don't let them do their thing. They just they tell them pretty much what you're going to do. Taika Waititi, fortunately with Thor, I don't think anybody gave a shit about Thor at that point. They had given up on Thor, so he came in and said, I'm going to try this. And they were like, sure, whatever, go ahead.
Yeah.
So that's why he was able to do that. And it was successful, so they let him do it again with the second one. But other directors have not had, what's her name? Chloe Zhao?
Chloe Zhao. Yeah, Chloe Zhao.
She, from what I've heard, she was kind of neutered, or it was kind of a directing by committee, if you will, for the Eternals. So, they're still doing that, reports say. I don't know. But we'll see. I mean, this is just a lot of shit they hit us with. And I love Blade, so I'm excited to see Blade. And I'm curious as to who the Avengers are going to be, because they're talking about Ironheart and Hawkeye's daughter, all that. I just don't have a... We essentially...
Harry Styles. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, well, here's the thing: the Avengers worked so well for me, for a lot of people, I think, is because it was this build up to these characters that we had been
Yeah.
getting to know for years. Now, this Avengers, we're gonna have like Captain America, Anthony Mackie's Captain America, which nothing against him. I don't have a problem with Anthony Mackie. I think I really enjoy him as an actor, and I've enjoyed him
Right.
in that role, in the role of Rhodey, right? Is it Rhodey? Is
What,
that
Don Cheadle or Anthony
yeah,
Mackie
I'm
plays
sorry, he's not
Sam
Brody.
Wilson.
Yeah, Sam Wilson. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed him in that role of Sam Wilson, but I did not like Captain America and the Winter Soldier, and that's where that's the last thing
it
I
was
saw him
awful.
in. Yeah, and that's
was
what
garbage.
it's stemming off of. Now, I mean, if they could take that character and do something with him as Captain America, great. But as of right now, I have a bad taste in my mouth for that character and that version of the character. So besides him and Thor's still around, I guess he'll still be an Avenger. Besides those two, maybe the Hulk. I guess the Hulk. So we've got but let's be real. The Avengers are OG Captain America, Iron Man, and I guess Thor. Maybe am I missing somebody? I'm missing somebody.
But for the original Avengers,
Yeah, Black
there's
Widow,
like Black Widow,
Hawkeye,
Hawkeye.
yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to be Hawkeye, maybe, I don't know, but Black Widow's obviously not going to be there. Not as it'll probably be Florence Pugh, but those ones that we grew up with, if you will, that we grew with, that we got to know, they're not going to be there. And this phase, the first Avengers movie comes out May 2nd, 2025. That is a little over 2 years from now. So within, and we're not going to get any introductions to new Avengers, whoever these Avengers are going to be, until at least Quantumania at best. I mean, maybe Black Panther, but I doubt it. I guess the new Black Panther.
Well, Black Panther is going to have Namor, so I'm assuming he's going to be an Avenger. Maybe I don't know.
Well, he's the villain in Black Panther. I heard. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's
I'm
like
not
a
sure.
sympathetic villain. I don't know. Anyway, who knows? But so until the end of this year, they got 2 years to set up this new crew that you're going to care about and want to see more about, and then have their big bang movies there in 2 years from now. I don't see it. I don't see me getting attached to all these characters in the same way that I did for Avengers, and especially Infinity War and Endgame. It's just not going to have the same impact, in my opinion. I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll come out and all these movies will just be so amazing. But their track record for the past 2 years ish just
So
really.
you're giving me hope. You're trying to give me hope, sir.
I'm not feeling good about it, but that's really. I mean, and to compare this to the Infinity Saga, I'm sorry. All I could fuck off. Come on, that was an achievement that they had a roadmap to a degree at least, and they really. I mean, there was some genuine creativity behind that. This new phase is just. I don't get that same feel. I don't. Marvel movies are kind of a dime a dozen now, and they've lost that specialness that they had then. They need to regain that and get back into finding some more creative stories, not just whatever they're doing here. I don't know, but that's all I got to say about the San Diego Comic-Con Marvel stuff.
Yeah, as Forrest Gump once said, that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, that is all I got to say about that. But I really do, like I said, I've been accused of being a Marvel hater. I'm not. I just hate where they've gone. I hope they bring it back around. I hope that they do some. These movies are all really good. Like Blade, I'm looking forward to. Within reason. I mean, I want it to be good because I really, really like the character of Blade. But we'll see. Well, I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, me at this point, I'm the same way. I'm not trying to hate on Marvel because they obviously have a formula that works. I just want better. That's all. Like I said, there are some things that I'm interested in seeing that I'll be excited for, but it's just like after Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, and Thor, and Moon Knight, and all these other properties, it's just maybe you need to take a year off. Maybe this is an Assassin's Creed problem or Call of Duty problem where it's just oversaturated. So that's just how I look at it. But I'm not bashing it because I know Marvel does what they do and well. So,
well, I don't even have. People keep saying superhero fatigue, like I mentioned a moment ago. I don't have superhero fatigue. I have Marvel fatigue. I'm just like, just stop.
Oh yeah, that superhero movie was Everything Everywhere. So,
yeah, The best multiverse movie of the year, period, wasn't a Marvel movie. And they're the ones that are always preaching multiverse, multiverse, multiverse. Well, learn from these. Get the Daniels. Get them to make a fucking Marvel movie. That's what they need to do. All right, well...
Howard the Duck.
Okay, so moving on from there to our next story, which is still Marvel related, by the way. The Guardians of the Galaxy... Season 3. Volume 3 apparently got a trailer at Comic-Con as well. Yeah. But James Gunn, the director of Guardians of the Galaxy, said, yeah, it's not ready for primetime, bitch. James Gunn was quoted in saying, "I wish you could have seen it too." Gunn replied on social media to one fan who was outraged over Marvel's decision not to release the trailer online. By the way, the whole Marvel fans entitlement thing, that bothers me too, but whatever. That just kind of shows it. But it's not just Marvel, it's also me. Although I love the teaser, some VFX aren't where I want them to be for the repeated views and close inspection. Remember, we didn't wrap long ago, so you'll have to wait just a beat. Sorry. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will hit theaters, is scheduled to hit theaters at May 5th, 2023, so it's actually closer than I thought. I thought it was later in the summer, but... Okay, so when I look at this, I got two things to say about it. If it wasn't ready to be viewed, then why the fuck did you show it? Besides, they're just trying to overload SDCC. If it ain't ready, it ain't ready. Don't show it. And also, his comments about it's not ready for, repeated views and close inspection. I feel like a lot of that goes back to here recently. We've been hearing a lot about Marvel and their special effects and how people, like special effects artists around the world, are saying, hey, they suck to work for. Working for Marvel is a pain. There are people that have even said, I will not work for them. I look for jobs that are not part of Marvel, even though they have a lot of work out there for these VFX artists. And because they're pushed, and these VFX artists are making these VFX, and they're not given the amount of time they need or the resources or whatever. So the VFX come out and they don't look great. People start critiquing them, and it makes them look bad. So I get why they don't want to work with them. But also, I feel like James Gunn's like, nope, I'm not having a She-Hulk situation where people are going to be on there talking shit about my movie and the special effects. So I'm not going to put it out until they are absolutely pristine, unless the actual trailer does come out and then they still look like shit. I don't know, but I have no idea how they looked. I haven't seen this footage. I wasn't at Comic-Con, but what? I am, by the way, looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I enjoyed both the last ones. I really like James Gunn. So that is one thing on the Marvel slate that I am very excited about. Have you, by chance, did you see any kind of like bootleg version of this trailer or anything like that?
Yes, I did. And it looks, I mean, it's once again like the Quantumania trailer. You can't see a lot of it, what's going on. But the trailer, from what I watched, is awesome. Plus, it has the Flaming Lips "Do You Realize" song attached to it, which is
that's what I heard.
Awesome. James Gunn's always been known for doing quality music in his movies. He picks the best songs. I'm optimistic for Volume 3. I think after Peacemaker and Suicide Squad, I think the only thing that can make this work is the whole Rocket Raccoon origin story, because there was stuff where you see Rocket as a baby and it was like actually quite moving.
Oh God.
Yeah,
they're gonna do a baby Rocket now. Oh my God, it's gonna be like Baby Yoda, Baby Groot, and Baby Rocket. Oh Jesus, Joe Dante's
dude, he's so
talk
cute,
about
man. Oh, he's so cute.
He's gonna come on and say, "Baby Rocket ripped off Gizmo," but anyway.
But yeah, I mean, I from what I saw, I enjoyed it. I'm still not a big fan of Chris Pratt anymore, just because his nonsense. But yeah.
Well, and I'm assuming what you saw was like cell phone footage, right?
Yeah, like I said, like half the screen's cut off, you can't see. So
I'm assuming that the VFX in the trailer they showed are present. I don't think it's like a work print or anything. But he's probably just wanting to like touch him up more. So when it was cell phone footage, you probably wouldn't be able to tell anyway. But,
yeah.
I mean, I get it, but really, I mean, you knew you were putting this thing up at Comic-Con and people are going to be talking about it. Can't they just like double down and get these effects ready to put them online? I mean, I'm not sitting here entitled like, oh, it needs to be there. But why show it? If it ain't ready, why show it anywhere?
Well,
That's
I
what I
mean,
don't get.
you gotta remember though, and these people at Comic-Con are like, they're like going, like we talked about this before, like going to a premiere or something like that, and your excitement is like through the roof because you're at a panel that only 6,000 people can be at,
Yeah.
and you're showing something to them that nobody else is gonna be able to see. That, like when Avengers Infinity War came out, they showed the first footage of that at Comic-Con, and everybody was talking about how excited they were by it. It's that same thing. It's like, I understand why he says what he says. It sucks for the rest of us because we can't see it, but I don't know. It didn't bother me as much as it did you, but I get what you're coming at though. So.
Well, it doesn't bother me so much. I'm not like, oh, I just have to see it now. I can wait. I'm fine. I mean, hell, there's plenty of other Marvel movies if you want your Marvel fix, but it's more, I
Yeah.
don't understand why I put it. If you're going to put it out there, preface it with that. Apparently, this was said after the fact. Put it out there and be like, hey, this is, footage only for SDCC. Put it, but before you even show it, say, hey, it's not complete. We're not done with the movie. We just finished wrapping, but to give you guys a little taste. No, they put it out there as a trailer, my understanding is, like, hey, here's the trailer. And then people are like, okay, when's it showing up online for the rest of the world? And that's why they caught some flack. He's taken some of that as well, saying, oh, it's Me Too. And saying it's not just Marvel. Yeah, but it is Marvel too. I do wonder if it was just left up to him, would he be like, here you go, there's your fucking movie. But I don't know. There's not a huge story here, which is the case with many of the stories today. But I just found that odd. That why release it? Period. If it ain't ready. But looking forward to the movie. Either way, comes out May 5th next year. Good times. All right, so that was a quick one. So let's move on to the next thing, and our next story is one. Now, this is an interesting one coming from us because we're going to talk about the Gray Man, and it's apparently there's a prequel and a sequel on the way for the Gray Man. This is a new movie from Netflix that just came out. I have not seen the Gray Man. And
Nope,
I thought Nick had seen the Gray Man when I put the story in rotation. But Nick has not seen the Gray Man, so both of us just have no fucking idea if this is good news or not.
I heard it sucks, but that's just me.
Yeah,
I heard it's real bad.
I'm gonna go off of what I've heard about the movie. I've not watched it. I almost watched it the other day, but I just haven't had time. I haven't heard great things about it. I've heard that, like, the spectacle, it's like a big dumb action movie. It's a Michael Bay type of movie, but it's just not amazing. The story is really lacking. But, I've heard more negative than positive about it.
Can't be as bad as Cherry.
Yeah, and I actually want to talk about concerning the directors, but real quick, apparently, even though the movie's not doing great, or it is doing great. It says Netflix announced 2 films, a Gray Man sequel starring Ryan Gosling, which is in the first Gray Man, and as promised a few months before its release, a Gray Man prequel set to explore a different element of the Gray Man universe. And this is coming from the Russo Brothers, I believe. The audience reaction to the Gray Man has been nothing short of phenomenal. Okay, that's not what I'm getting, but the Russos said in a statement, "We are so appreciative to the enthusiasm that fans across the world have had for this film. With so many amazing characters in the movie, we had always intended for the Gray Man to be part of an expanded universe. And we are thrilled that Netflix is announcing a sequel with Ryan, as well as a second script that we're excited to talk about soon." Apparently, the second script they're saying is based on Chris Evans' character, like earlier. I don't know if his character survives the Gray Man or not. We haven't seen it, but it apparently deals with his character prior to the Gray Man, prequel to the Gray Man. The audience reaction to the Gray Man has been nothing short of phenomenal. I say no because everything I've heard, I haven't heard anybody say it's phenomenal. I've heard people say it was fine, and it had good action. The action scenes I heard are really good. But if you look on Netflix, it is number 1, or was as of this report. It's the number 1 movie on there, and a lot of fucking people are watching it. So maybe that's what they mean by audience reaction. A whole lot of people are watching it. That doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing, but whatever. Netflix thought it was good enough to greenlight 2 fucking movies based on it, so there's that. I don't know. I don't really have a lot of input on this because I haven't seen the movie. You got anything for us, Nick?
Yeah, they're spending too much. Netflix is spending too much money on crap. It's known,
Yeah.
and it's ironic that like some of the bigger movies that they spent money on, like The Irishman. Well, The Irishman was pretty good, but like Red Notice and this have gotten terrible reviews, and they're like $250 million projects. And I have like no drive to see The Gray Man, even though it has Chris Evans and Ryan Gosling in it, and it was directed by the Russo brothers. I mean, I'm like looking, I'm like. Then again, I did have COVID when it came to theaters, so I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
but
care.
it's free. Well, not free. If you have Netflix, I mean, it's right
Yeah.
there. And so I don't have an excuse either. But I guess what I am interested in, or something I was interested in exploring and getting your thoughts on, is okay. I can't comment on this movie. I can only go off of what people say. But there's been plenty of movies people said were terrible, and I ended up actually enjoying. Who knows? Maybe I'll think this movie's pretty good. I'll watch it eventually. But what I am interested in is the Russo brothers. You know, they were the new hot shit on the block. It came off of Community, I believe it was, and some other shows. And then they did, Infinity War and Endgame, two of the biggest fucking movies ever made. And what have they really done since then? That they did Cherry, which I didn't even see that, but I heard nothing
They
but
did Welcome to Colin. Is it the one with Sam Rockwell and George Clooney? I think it was, and William H Macy was called Welcome to Collinwood or something like that. Is that right?
I haven't seen
I'm gonna
that
look
either.
this up. It came out in like early 2000s, but it was directed by the Russo brothers.
Oh well,
Yeah,
that was
Welcome.
pre
Well, yeah,
Avengers,
but
right?
the reason I bring that up is because the Russo brothers, like as you just said, like what have the Russo brothers done that's good? And outside of Community, which was more, well, they were producers on Everything Everywhere All at Once, so I guess that counts.
Yeah, and they did the Winter Soldier and what? Yeah, they did the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier
Winter
and
Soldier and
Civil
that
War.
other one, the Civil War. But are you starting to notice that like when the Marvel directors come in, the films are good, but they go do their own projects. 99 times out of 100, they're bad movies. Like
Yeah,
think about what the Russo brothers have done as directors since they're coming back to direct something in the Marvel Cinematic Universe because they're failing. I mean, even the film Extraction, which I don't know if it was directed by one of the Russo brothers, had a great scene in it, but the movie was
no,
not
that was
great.
Extraction was the
Oh, they wrote it.
he was the stunt man.
Yeah,
Chris Evans, not Chris Evans.
Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth stunt man.
Yeah,
He's the one who directed it.
but I don't know. The Russo brothers they're a weird group. I mean, I give them credit. They were able to pull out Endgame and Infinity War, but it's just like you watch Cherry. Cherry was garbage, and Gray Man's supposed to be not that great. Maybe they're not built for directing, these
Action.
films. I don't know.
Well, I
Yeah.
heard the action in the Gray Man is actually really good, but it's just
Oh,
the
okay.
story is like technically it's a very good movie, it's solid ass movie, and the action's exciting. It's just you don't give a shit about the characters or the story or anything. The story's just kind of dumb. But once again, I haven't seen it, so I can't don't quote me on that. But I, I like you. I find it. I've seen quite a few directors that's happened with. They'll come in and they'll have a good backlog, and that I'm assuming that's why they get hired by Marvel is to come on. And it's almost like Marvel sucks them dry. I mean,
Yeah.
John, Mandalorian creator. Oh shit.
Favreau.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Favreau. John Favreau. He came in just like hot and did, Iron Man. Then Iron Man 2 happened, and then it just burned him out. And he was like, "Screw this, I'm out." And he's done good stuff since then, but he kind of took a
Yeah.
break. He was like, "Oh, I'm backing off," and I guess Kenneth Branagh, he came out more or less unscathed. He did one movie, and then he was like, "Nope, no more for me." So, but there's been and Taika Waititi. We talked about him a couple of weeks ago. He just seems like he's kind of drinking the Waititi Kool-Aid, and I'm curious to see. He did make Jojo Rabbit, so he's still making quality. Well, he was making quality stuff, and you said he has another film coming out soon, so I guess we'll see them.
Yeah.
But I think the Russo brothers maybe just either they got way too big for themselves, and everybody was praising them, so they, just kind of they're drinking the Russo brothers Kool-Aid or something, and not really being as creative as they used to be. I don't know, but it does seem like they really haven't done anything else good since Endgame, and
Yeah.
this is kind of, from what I'm hearing, solidifying that. But it was good enough to get two sequels, I guess. So financially. So maybe they are bankable directors, but doesn't mean they necessarily are the most creative anymore. I don't know.
Right.
But hey, if you enjoyed The Gray Man, if you're one of those people, because this is also critics we're talking about. We're in a circle where we're talking about people that critique movies, they're critics, and critics are usually, when it comes to like dumb action movies, they're usually a little bit rougher on them. Critics have a hard time just enjoying sometimes just dumbass action. I don't, because I'm a dumbass, so I like dumbass action. It speaks to me, but critics give them a hard time. But audiences sometimes, casual Joe Blow audiences sometimes love these kind of movies. And hey, if that's the audience they're going for and it's speaking to them, good for them. Everybody needs those movies. But if you like The Gray Man, you got more coming soon at some point with Netflix and all their money they spend on their movies, even though they said they're not going to spend as much anymore. But whatever. Anyway, moving on to our next story, our not final movie story of the evening, but our final straight up movie one, and then we got a trailer reaction and a couple of side stories. We're going to be talking about Ash versus Evil Dead.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now I'm just going to go out there and say I love this show. I love this series. The Evil Dead series is one of the most reliable horror franchise, kind of horror comedy, but horror franchises out there, in my opinion. Every other horror franchise out there has a bad entry. I do not feel like there's a bad entry of The Evil Dead thus far. Part 1's awesome. Part 2 is amazing. Part 3 is just amazing on a different level. It's almost like a different type of movie. The show, I loved Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is what we're going to talk about today. And I even like the 2013, reboot, remake, whatever it was.
Yeah, that movie was awesome.
Yeah, that was really good. And now Evil Dead Rise is coming out in this year. It's still this year, right?
I don't know.
It's coming out. It's coming soon. Evil Dead Rise. It takes place in a high rise. Cool poster, by the way. If you look it up, I just saw the poster not long ago. It's got like a chainsaw as the head. I thought that was pretty cool, but we'll see where that goes. Different director. Bruce Campbell's not in it, but we'll see what happens. But Ash vs. Evil Dead, if you watch the show, you will know. If you watch the entire show, I know you said you didn't finish it, but if you watch the entire show, it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, very similar to a deleted ending of Army of Darkness, by the way. But it ends in a place where it completes kind of sort of the story of the show, but leaves it way open, and it ends in a really cool place. So people have been saying, hey, we want more, but I guess the show costs too much and all this and that, so it was deleted. But Bruce Campbell, not a lot of info here, but in a recent interview, he said, by the way, Bruce Campbell he retired from the character of Ash because he said it's just too much on his body. He's not young anymore. He can't be doing that stuff anymore. That makes sense. He said it beats the hell out of him. He still does some video game voice. He still does voice work because he's like, hey, my voice is not changing. I can do that. But he was quoted as saying, you can do the future a lot easier in animation. I still sound like Ash, and my voice hasn't been beat up as my body has been, so I can still do that crap. So I'll still do the video game, or the video games, and we're already talking about an animated series. That's what I want to talk about today. Apparently, Bruce, oh boy, has been talking to people about continuing the Ash vs. Evil Dead saga in animated form, and while I would love to just have the show back, if he's involved and it's all the same creators but they do like an anime or animated version of it, I'll take it. I would absolutely take it. I would love to see, I just want to see this story continue because it leaves it in such a really cool post-apocalyptic Mad Max Deadite world that I just want to see that happen. Now, whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. Bruce Campbell could just be talking out of his ass, but he's game, and that's one of the key components. Let's see if Raimi's down for it. But what you did, I mean, I don't remember how much of the show you said you saw, Nick. But what do you think? Would you be excited about this, or are you like, I really don't care?
No, I mean anything Evil Dead with excuse me. Anything Evil Dead with Bruce Campbell of any sorts is absolutely incredible for me. I mean, I watched the first season of the Ash vs. Evil Dead, and it's a fun show. It's entertaining. It feels like Evil Dead, and it's just, Bruce Campbell's been one of those staples of like Sam Raimi and just in general that if he does anything, Boba Hotep's like one of the great black comedies or dark comedies of the last
So good.
20 years.
So good.
So good.
People talk about Austin Evans, or not Austin, is it Austin Butler as Elvis? No,
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell as Elvis. He's the one.
Exactly. But it doesn't matter if whatever form he decides to do more Ash. I don't care. Just give it to me. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's
If
all we
Bruce
want.
Campbell does it, that's all I care.
Give us
I
some
don't care
more
what it is.
ashy slashy. That's I want it.
Exactly.
I need it in my life. We all do. But I would now. He doesn't specifically say. He says he wants to continue the story, or he says he wants to continue the world, more or less. I can't remember his exact quote. It doesn't specifically say that they will continue where the show left off. I really hope they do, though, because it ends with him. If you're familiar with the deleted ending from the original ending of Army of Darkness, he says, I can't remember what part, he says something wrong in the incantation, and he ends up like 300 years later with like this big Rip Van Winkle beard, and he's in, I think it's London or something like that, and it's like post-apocalyptic, the world's gone to shit, and he's like, I slept too long. It's pretty much exactly the same. That happens, but he wakes up in the back of the car, and then like the great-great-grandchildren of, I think it's 80 years later or something like that, somebody he was working with show up, and it's like all Mad Max looking, and they got like the Buick, and like it's all decked out with like, it's just really fucking the whole setup, and then they drive off into the sunset. I'd love to see where that goes. I want to see that world. I mean, we've seen the cabin in the woods part of it plenty of times now. We don't need that again, not within the way that we've been seeing it. Show us something new. Take this. That's what was so fresh about Army of Darkness, is it went somewhere new and did something new and creative, and it was really fun. And I hope they do that with the animated series. I hope there is an animated series, first of all, and I hope that they do that route. They go into that future route, because the Evil Dead itself is, it doesn't matter what time it is. It could be any time frame or place, and we have Ash. That's all that matters. So let's just have a new setting, and I think that could be really, really fucking cool, and I'm really hoping that happens.
Because I'm not real sure about Evil Dead Rise, what's going to be with that. I don't know if it's going to be, Poltergeist 3 nonsense, or it's actually going to be good.
Exactly
it's
what
just,
I was thinking of.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see when it comes out, if it ever comes out.
Yeah, well, it's done. It's completed, which I'm surprised somebody hasn't released something, but I want to say it's supposed to come before the end of this year. I think it's still slated for the end of this year. We've gotten a poster, no trailer as of yet. All new characters, all new, I think. Bruce Campbell's not in it. It's not a sequel to the 2013 one, I don't think. I want to say
that
Freddie Alvarez.
Me that they...
Is he the director? I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm a little shocked that they never did a sequel to that reboot, because, like I said, that was one that I thought was going to be terrible, and it actually ended up being a lot better than I thought it was. And then they had that Bruce Campbell kind of snippet at the end of the movie, which I'm like, ooh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. And maybe this one, I don't think, I did a story on it like 2 years ago when they were talking about it. I don't think it's supposed to be a direct sequel to 2013 Evil Dead, but I'd be okay if it was, even if it doesn't even if it has new characters just in that same world. Just attach it to something, or maybe it'll be attached to the Sam Raimi ones, but that would be weird, because none of the same, because that's what the Sam Raimi one is known for, is like its character Ash. If Ash ain't in it, then it's not part of the Sam Raimi ones, in my opinion. But I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. What Alvarez did that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre, didn't he?
No, he.
Was that him? What else did he did something else recently-ish? I don't know, but I want to say he did something, because he's a talented director. He's done something else though that I really like. I can't remember. I'm not prepared for this.
He did Don't Breathe. He did the. Oh, he did. Oh, he did. He wrote the story of the Texas Chainsaw.
Okay, that's what. All right, yeah. I knew he was involved in that somewhere, and that's another one I didn't watch. I was gonna watch it, but I did not hear one single good thing about that movie from anyone.
The kills were good in that. That was about it.
Well, that's the only thing I heard, is that like the kills were good, but beyond that, I heard that movie was fucking terrible. My kids watched it one night, and I told them, I was like, "Oh, I hear you're gonna probably hate this." "Oh, we'll love it." And then I came up later on, and they were like, "No, that was terrible." So, if my kids say it's terrible, it's probably really fucking bad. But anyway, Freddie Alvarez's Evil Dead Rise is coming, but even more exciting to me, we could possibly be getting Ash vs. Evil Dead continued on in animated form. And if that's what I gotta If animated is the way I got to take it, then hey, I'll take it that way. As long as we get Bruce Campbell on board and it's continuing that story and that same vibe that Ash vs. Evil Dead had, I'm good with it. And if you haven't seen Ash vs. Evil Dead, what the fuck are you doing? Get out there and see it. It's so awesome.
Yeah.
It is.
I think
so
it's on
awesome.
Netflix actually.
Is it on Netflix? I know it's a Starz show.
It is. I think it's on Netflix.
It's somewhere.
Right. I think that's how I watched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, find it, people. Find it because the first season is amazing.
I think it's three or four seasons. They're all awesome, and it brings back some. If you were especially a '90s kid, I'm an '80s and '90s kid, but if you're a '90s kid, there's lots of cameos from actors that you'll know from then, and it's just awesome. If you love Evil Dead, you will love that show. It is so good. So check that out.
It's on Netflix right now.
There's no reason for you not to go check it out because everybody has Netflix or everybody has somebody's Netflix code. I pay for mine, Netflix. I pay for mine. Leave me alone. All right, so from there, we're going to go into our trailer reaction of the day. And it is of a new little movie, a prequel. We've been talking prequels today. This is a prequel of Pearl. Yeah, Pearl. Ty West's X came out. Was it beginning of this year? It was the beginning of this year.
It was February, I think.
Yeah. Beginning of this year. I know I saw it a little bit after everybody else, but Ty West's Pearl, which is the prequel. If you've seen Pearl, all right. If you haven't seen X, I don't think we're gonna ruin much, but there'll be some things that we say that could possibly spoil some stuff in there. I'm gonna try not too much, but just letting you know that up front. I know X isn't like super old, so maybe there's some people who haven't seen it, but I'm gonna try and stay away from spoilery stuff too much and just talk about this trailer. But Pearl is the prequel about the old woman in X, and they shot this. I don't know all the details at like right after X, like while they were still on set, so it takes place. It's in the same spots. They use a lot of the same sets. It was a movie that he was just like, hey, let's do this thing real quick. I think they were waiting on something, but they were still there. Like they were almost done shooting X, and they shot this whole fucking movie or something like that. I don't know the whole story, but either way, let's take a look at the trailer for that, and then we will be right back and we'll talk about it. So here is the trailer for Pearl.
Caring for your family during these times is admirable. But you only get one take at this life.
If only they would just die.
Pardon?
Nothing. I want to be special, dancing up on the screen like the pretty girls in the pictures.
I will not let you leave this farm again.
I'm worried there may be something real wrong with me. Rumor has it they only take one gal per town.
We're looking for someone with X Factor.
Has to be me.
How about a film nobody else has seen?
Is it legal?
Will be eventually.
I know what I've done. Bad things. Terrible, awful, murderous things. I want to be loved from as many people as possible. But truth is, I'm not really a good person.
So there it is, ladies and gentlemen, Pearl. So Nick, this was your first time seeing this trailer, right?
Yes, it was.
Well, I've already seen it, and I have some questions. But I'll since this is let's get your genuine in the moment reactions. Because I know you loved X. So what'd you think of Pearl, or from the trailer at least?
It looks like a fever dream, and I'm all about it. That trailer was awesome. Like, I love X. X is one of those fun, entertaining horror comedies in a lot of respects. I mean, there's a shot with like Kid Cudi and his his thing hanging out. It was really funny and stuff like that. But looks like fantastic. Like, Ty West is one of those directors that's very underrated when it comes to his abilities. He's done some weird stuff in his career, but I loved every second of this trailer. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, it has that really cool kind of. I know you don't like Mulholland Drive. What's that?
That Ty Westness.
yeah, like very like I said, fever dream, fantastical. Everything feels heightened and like it looks disturbing. That poor duck. She better not kill that duck. I'm gonna come after her if she kills that duck.
What were you gonna say about Mulholland Drive?
Oh, there's like shots in this that feel like a little bit like Mulholland Drive shots, like with Naomi Watts and like where she's getting photographed and her fever dreams and stuff like that. That's what it felt like a little bit.
I hope not.
No, it's not gonna have like some guy come out from behind the dumpster or something like that. But
yeah, not a fan.
Yeah,
of
I think. But yeah, I love this trailer. Like, the first time watching, I'm gonna go back and watch it eventually here, like after we get done. But yeah, it's awesome.
Well, I liked it too. Fever Dream, that does really that sums it up a bit. Now, I do have some questions. I do like how they said it's an extraordinary original story there at the beginning. I like the feel of the trailer overall. I thought it had a very, like, a surreal kind of just fever dream. That keeps coming back to mind since you said that. I really like the feel of the trailer and how it's got the old 30s kind of look.
Yeah.
Very like Cuphead in its presentation. I really like that look, and that, if nothing, and that's a very different. It's doing for this movie, like going back to like that time period of like I'm assuming it's like the 20s or 30s, maybe in that time frame, maybe 40s. I'm not sure, but it's doing for this movie what X did for what was it, 79, right? Is that when X was 1979? I believe it was.
Yeah, it was in the 70s. I can't remember when.
Pretty sure it was 79. Great year, by the way.
Yeah.
You were born. But I did have just one and only, and this could work or it couldn't. One possible concern, and that is this just going to be a bunch of references to X? Is it just going to be kind of like cheeky references to X? And if so, is that really a bad thing? I mean, that could work, but that's really dangerous territory. It could be, kind of overkill to where it's just because they got the thing with the pitchfork, they got the fucking alligator's back or crocodile, whatever it was. They got there was a lot of stuff is thrown at you in this trailer, but of course they've got Pearl and the husband. But
yeah,
it just felt like there were times in the trailer, and that may have just been the trailer trying to tie it to X, that it just felt like, hey, here's a lot of references to things that happened, like she's the pitchfork thing and all that in that movie. But once again, that could work. I'm not saying that couldn't work. I'm just saying that could be dangerous territory.
Well, it feels like maybe this isn't. They call this a prequel, but I'm getting the sense like this is happening in her mind after the incident at the farm in X.
What makes you say that? Because I think I know the one thing. I know this is the first time. Maybe you didn't catch it. There is one thing that I have a question about in this trailer. What makes you say that it could be that? Curious.
It's the way it feels. It's the bringing up the idea of the alligator and the pitchfork and the way it doesn't feel like it's really happening. Like, it could be happening, but it feels like that it's in a different reality. Like, it's in her head.
Heightened reality.
Almost. Yeah, heightened like imagination reality. So maybe he's trying to do a swerve on us, make us think it's one thing, and then approach it from a different angle. Mm-hmm. Which Ty West, if you've ever seen like The Innkeepers or House of the Devil, has been known to do. I don't know. It's really weird. I get this feeling that it takes place after, like, it could be like she's in an insane asylum or something like that.
Or like
Maybe
as
it's
she's
the-
dying. Well, she pretty definitively died in the end, didn't she?
No, she lived. She's the only one that lived.
Oh, wait, Mia Goth lived.
She's driving away in the truck.
Well, that's Mia Goth. She lived, but not Pearl. Pearl's the old woman. She dead,
Oh,
didn't she?
wait, I thought Pearl was Mia Goth.
Well, Mia Goth played Pearl.
Okay, maybe it's like her last. Why is Mia Goth in this movie then?
Because Mia Goth played Pearl. She played the old woman and the
That's her as the
young
old
woman.
woman.
Yeah. Yo, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah,
actually.
in Pearl,
I didn't even-
she plays the main character, and she also plays Pearl with a whole bunch of makeup.
This makes so much more sense now.
She is
okay,
Pearl's
maybe
the
it's
old
the
woman.
last.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the last thought. Oh, that's why. Okay, throw out everything I just said. That makes sense about the alligator and the pitchfork and the farmhouse. I didn't even
I
put
thought
that
you knew that.
together. I'm such an idiot.
Yeah,
Dude, please don't watch my
her
review
and the
then.
husband are both played by much younger actors. That was one of the questions I had actually because I think that's the husband that she's talking to about her family. Oh, I wish they just died. And he goes, what? And she's like, nothing. In the trailer,
Oh, that makes it so
I
much
was
weirder and creepier.
wondering
Actually,
if that was the same actor because I can't remember the male actor who played the old man in the movie so much. But he's a younger actor as well. But yeah, she played the main character in X. I can't remember the character's name, but Pearl was
Maxine,
the old woman.
yeah.
She also played her. Once you know,
Dude,
you
that
don't
makes it so much
realize it,
weirder.
but once you know it, you look and you're like, oh fuck, that is her. It's
Well,
done really well.
the funny thing about that is you don't really see that woman most of the time. It's mostly in the shadows. But if you look at the eyes, any actor uses makeup. If you look at the eyes of the actor, you can tell who it is. How did I not know that?
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
Well,
I quit.
Once
I
you
quit
know
movies.
that, once you know that, you can see it. But it is done really well, and it is. I think a lot of it is lighting. But because there were times, actually, I looked it up in the middle of the movie because I saw the movie at home. It had already been out.
Oh
And-
yeah, they don't let us use phones during screening. So
Yeah. Well, I was watching it, and I kept looking at it, and there were a couple of times I was like, is that... I didn't think it was her, but I was like, is that a younger... Is this person wearing a bunch of makeup? I thought it was just an older woman.
That makes the trailer make more sense now because she always inspired to be something more as an individual, and she never was able to. Because I think Pearl wanted to be an actress. I think that's why her whole arc in the story is her trying to, be younger and be an act. Oh, that makes so much more sense about the trailer now. So
Yeah.
it has to be either she's seen the last days of her life, as they claim. You see when you die, you see like everything about. Oh my god, that makes more sense now.
Well, and that's where I thought you were going with it. I thought you were saying that like, oh, maybe this is like a fever dream as she's dying because she dead in the movie. I mean, you never know what they could say happened, but
Yeah.
she either got shot with a shotgun or didn't her head get crushed under the truck? Or was that the old
I
man's?
think that I think
Yeah.
I think
I don't
what
know.
happens she was trying to attack Mia Goth herself, Mia Goth's
Yeah,
Maxine character.
the younger one, yeah.
Yeah, Maxine shoots her and then she runs over her at the
Yeah,
end.
she just decimated. She is fucking dead. So maybe like right there,
Yeah, she's dead.
the last thought, it could be right. That's what I thought you were saying. I was like, that's an interesting take. That could be it. That might be why we get some of these little things that tie back to X and why it has this feel of kind of like an other, like surreal feel. Because X,
Well,
it was out there, but it was based in, reality. I never got like a surreal feel from it. It was just like, it seemed like it took place in reality of 1979.
is that I don't know. I never mind. Go back to what you're saying. I forgot what I was gonna say.
Okay, well, I mean, but beyond that, I really thought you knew that. But beyond that, I was curious, and I thought you might know, but I didn't. This is a revelation for me. If the husband in this movie in Pearl is the same guy, because she's obviously Mia Goth is playing the younger version of the older version she played in X. I'm wondering if the husband's doing the same thing. If that's him, I'm not 100% sure. That'll be something I want to look up. But
Like the guy who's the porn director.
yeah. Is it him? I don't know. Was it him? Did he play the old man too?
No, the old man is played by Stephen Uri.
Yeah.
Who is actually played a bunch of characters in the Hobbit and Lord of the Rings franchises.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if he's in this movie, if that's him that she's talking to, but either way, you also have like she's clearly wants to be a star, wants to be in movies and all that, and some of apparently it looks like she gets involved in the porn industry or something like that, or at least interested in it because they say is they're looking at this movie. It looks like she's watching a nudie movie or something, and she's like, "Is this legal?" And he's like, "It will be." And like, I mean, he shows her out in the cornfield doing, it kind of ties into her over sexualization in X. So kind of maybe that's why she was so into them shooting that porn over there, because she's like, "Oh, I've done this," but long time ago, or once again, could be a fever dream. Who knows? But the thing that made me wonder why, the thing I thought you were going with, and it is, I didn't see it until the second time I watched the trailer, but there's a shot of an audience of people, and it shows her on a stage, and it does look kind of like a dream, possibly. I don't know. But like, there's a shot of her on the stage, or it looks like this audience is watching her, and they all start clapping. If you look, they're all wearing masks, but like surgical masks, like COVID masks. And I was like, why are people in 19 whatever all in this audience wearing masks? They look like it looks like an audience from back then, but it looks like a theater audience you would see nowadays, where they're all wearing masks and stuff. And you do see one person take it off, and their face is kind of fucked up under there. I don't know if that was.
So this is like Eye of the Beholder. This is a prequel to Eye of the Beholder.
Well, it doesn't cover. It's like your traditional surgical mask we see everybody with now. But I was wondering if maybe that was one of the things you were saying. Oh, maybe she's getting her timelines all mixed up and everything in her little fever dream, and that might be. I don't know. I don't know why this audience would be wearing those masks like that, because it did look like more modern masks. It didn't look. They've always had masks that surgeons were wearing stuff, but they look like modern variations of the masks, but the people in the shot look like from the 30s, 40s, or whatever.
Yeah.
I had that in my notes, is why are all the people wearing masks? That was interesting to me. I mean, I'm sure it'll be explained at some point, hopefully.
Well, I mean, traditionally, like, this feels like I'm making a joke, but if you watch Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure, the dream sequence, the doctor's wearing a mask, takes off the mask, he has like a fucked up face. But I feel this is an interesting observation I have. If a whole bunch of people wear masks, like surgical masks or whatever, it's creepier than when they don't. If there's something weird and off-putting about not being able to see half the person's face,
well, that's psychology.
like just the eyes.
That's human beings. We read faces, and if you can't see someone's, that's why people like to talk to someone while they're looking at their face. We like to look at each other's faces, and if you can't see it, it's like it'll automatically give you an uncomfortable feeling. That's why it was. Not to go real deep onto it, but I went to school for psychology unfortunately didn't graduate. But if you don't look someone in the eyes when you talk, if you look away, it makes them uncomfortable. Almost, it can make them uncomfortable if you stare into their eyes too. But if you refuse to look at someone in the eye, look them in the face. If you look away, it makes them uncomfortable. It makes them like, So yeah, all that, the faces being covered and stuff. It's a psychology point to it. It is more unnerving, and you can't see who it is you're talking to. It's like talking to somebody through a wall or something. But other things I noticed about the trailers, she's fucking with a goat or something like that. I don't know if that's Black Phillip's brother, but like White Phillip. I don't know, but
White Stan.
Yeah, she's got bloody hands, and she's like rubbing its mouth and stuff like that. Like, I don't know what's going on there. There's somebody who gets blown the fuck up near the end of it. Like, there is a human being, you see it for just a second, they explode in the front yard of this farmhouse that she lives at. That's what it looked like. Like, they big time, like, obliterated, like, explode all over the place. Looked like a practical effect. I'm really looking forward to seeing what that's all about. And just a lot. She
less than 2 months.
Yeah, she keeps on going on about, I'm gonna be a star, bright shining star, and all I could think about was like, superstar. Kept thinking that, or Mark standing in front of a mirror and bright shining star. But overall, me myself personally, I'm looking forward to this movie. It looked really cool. There's a lot you could take from this trailer, lots of places you could go with it. Like you said, that's a really interesting take, that it could be like her last moments, she's reliving in her head like her life, and it's kind of, that would make sense why it was kind of twisted. I kind of hope that we do get something interesting like that, and it's not just kind of straightforward. But who knows? We'll see. I don't have the release day in front of me, but you said it's like 2 months away.
Yeah, I think it's like September 25th or something like that. It's really like, once again, I thought this was supposed to come out next year. So it's like the Avengers. It's like 2 movies in the same year. But I'm all about this. I really am.
Oh yeah, I mean, I that makes sense. It's coming out in September. Halloween movies Everybody thinks they come out in October. They usually come out in end of September and some October. But yeah, it's a horror-esque movie.
September 16th, sorry.
Okay, yeah, so cool. So those of you that enjoyed X, which me and Nick both really enjoyed it. I think, Nick, you said it might even be in one of your, as of right now, one of your top movies.
It's definitely honorable mention at the moment. So,
well, those of you that enjoyed X, hey, there's more coming, and let us know what you thought of this trailer. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's all over the place. Pearl coming in September. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm kind of excited. I want to see who the hell that was that blew up and why they blew. Looks like they stepped on like a fucking nuclear bomb. I mean, they explode. It's like a real wide shot. And I know you've only seen the trailer once. Check it out. And this person is obliterated, just blows up blood, and it's pretty fucking glorious. Looking forward to that. I want to see that, and I am interested to see what direction Ty West takes the story about this character that we got to know here. But that is our trailer reaction of Pearl. Now, beyond that, whoops. Okay, so as you can see in the background, because I popped it up early, we're going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy. I was going to talk about some plugs and stuff, but we'll do that at the end. Let's just jump right into this shit. And you know what? I lied to you. We're not going to talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was worried there for a second. I was like, wait, is there something else I didn't hear about?
Because that was the wrong button. Let me hit the right button here. Here we go. Let's cue all this up. We're gonna talk about The Witcher. Toss a coin to your Witcher, ladies and gentlemen, but you might have to wait a little bit longer to do that because apparently, I don't know if it's been delayed or not. I doubt it will, but The Witcher Season 3 has stopped production. But why? Well, filming was scheduled for Monday the 25th. That was this past Monday, I believe. Right? Yeah. We're on the... Yep, the 25th. That was this past Monday. Damn, this is a quick story. And July 25th, mysteriously, it did not take place, leading to initial rumors of a halted production of The Witcher Season 3, a show that I really enjoyed, and I enjoy the books too. I read all the books, and I enjoy the show. Production on the third season of the Netflix series has paused production because Henry Cavill has contracted COVID-19. Everyone, have Henry in your prayers. He is in need. He has COVID-19, and they have halted production on the show. We're gonna pray for you, Henry. We're gonna pray for you, everyone. This is a very important day, and he needs to be in your prayers today. Lord, we can't lose him. Not like this. Anyway,
he's Superman again. The Superman.
You can't take my Superman from me. But the production halted during the filming of a fan-awaited, physically demanding battle sequence called the Niku that stems from the Witcher novel Time of Contempt, which it's been a while since I read those books. I think that's the fourth book, technically. I think it's the fourth book. But yeah, I can't remember that specific little part of the book because those books get real out there. But apparently, Henry Cavill's got COVID-19, so they had to halt production. Yeah, it's interesting to hear. I don't think that the show's going to be like... I don't know. I don't think it's going to be postponed or anything because, I mean, you get COVID 2 weeks later. I mean, unless something, like, really goes south with it. Henry Cavill's a pretty strapping lad, so I doubt he's probably going to be able to handle this thing. But he'll probably be over it and cleared within... It used to be 2 weeks. I think he can do it even faster now.
Yeah, it took about a week and a half for me when I got it over it, so...
Yeah, and I know that sometimes he's going into this physically demanding scene and all that. Maybe they'll just reschedule some things. I'm sure he'll be back on the horse in no time, and they'll be working on the rest of the season. So I doubt that that's really going to like postpone the season. But I don't even think it has a release date as of yet. I'm assuming probably next year. It's an effects-heavy show, so it'll probably be next year, maybe at best next summer. But either way, I just wanted to put that out there and just let everybody know that my man crush, Henry Cavill, the one person, I'm a straight man through and through, but if I was ever going to go gay, he'd be the one. But my man crush...
Dude, he's a nerd. He's a nerd. He's a hunking, awesome-looking dude. He's built. He's Superman. He's like the four-quadrant man for any person, gay or straight. So
he is the greatest human being on the
He has
planet
the, he has
Earth.
the he has the gun punching hands, you know, like
Yeah.
in Mission Impossible.
Yeah, he cocks his arms. He's amazing. Watching him make that PC during build his own PC in during the pandemic when everybody was in lockdown, that was a glorious video. But yeah, Henry Cavill. Hopefully, in all seriousness, hopefully the guy's doing all right. I know COVID doesn't put people down as much as like it was previously, but hopefully he'll be okay and they'll be back on the horse and they'll have The Witcher season 3, which I'm really looking forward to. Back up and running in no time at all, and we'll get that here soon. But I know Nick, I've never really asked you, just while we're here talking about The Witcher, have you watched The Witcher? Did you like it? I guess
I watched the first episode. To be fairly honest, the Witcher series never really did it for me. I tried playing the second game. I tried playing the third game. Actually, I own the third game. I tried reading the books. It's not my cup of tea. The fantasy aspects are just not what I'm into. That type of thing. That's all.
Well,
it's not bad.
Yeah, that's fine, and I get it.
Yeah.
The Witcher series, and you'll understand what I'm saying here, is very much like the Gunslinger series. And for those of you that don't know, the first
Dark Tower,
book in the Gunslinger series, the Dark Tower series rather, is the Gunslinger, and it's kind of weird to get into because the first book is actually kind of an anthology of short stories that Stephen King wrote. This is the Gunslinger. For magazines years ago. It's about the same character, but it's all these different situations he gets to. But it's very loosely linked together, but they don't make that clear. If you didn't know that, you go into reading the Gunslinger book and you're like, what? It's all over the place. And you're like, what is going on here? It's not until
I was going to say The Witcher is very similar to Wizards and Glass, which is Stephen King's gunslinger going back to his young days as a gunslinger in like a Wild West scenario.
The one book where everything halts and you're like, wait, what just happened here?
Yeah, they're on the train. Yeah, they're on the train rolling death chains. Like, I'm going to tell you a 6,000-page story about my life as a gunslinger before all hell broke loose and everything dropped into the doldrums and stuff. Black Plague or whatever.
But that's it's like that. But the Gunslinger's first book, or the Dark Tower's first book, The Gunslinger, is very segmented, and it's hard to get into because you don't understand unless you already know going in that this is a bunch of short stories about the same character. There's not an overarching story until the second book. The second book, The Drawing of the Three, is when that story actually kicks off and starts. So I've always told people that get into that series, hey, the first book is really interesting, but just be prepared. It's a bunch of short stories. It's not one single. We're used to a narrative, like an overarching narrative. It ain't there. It's not until the second book, but you need that first book to understand what happens in the second moving forward. And that's what The Witcher is like too. Its first book is a collection of stories, and they're just kind of all over the place about this one character. And I think that was one thing I disagreed with what they did with season 1. I'm happy that they told those stories, but season 1 followed that template so much that it was very fragmented and all over the place. And there were times you were like, where? If you're not familiar with the books, you'd be like, where am I? What is going on here? Because that's how the book is. But in the book, they got more time to explain some things out. And in the show, it was just kind of like, I heard a lot of people talking about that. They were like, it's confusing. The timeline's confusing. And I get that. I think that they could have maybe tied all that together a little bit. And I would have been okay with them altering something. I mean, they added the whole Yennefer backstory thing. That's not in the books. So they added that in. So why not add some more connective tissue to season 1? Thankfully, season 1 was still well enough received to where it got a season 2. And season 2 is a more connected story because it takes up Blood of Elves, which, like I said about the Dark Tower series, first book, all over the place. Second book starts that overarching story, but you need that first book with those segmented stories to understand what you're getting into. So I would recommend anybody who is interested in watching this series, or the games are their kind of own thing, but watching the series or reading the book, just get through that first book. It's interesting, but just understand what you're getting into, and that overarching story starts with the second one. Dark Tower 2, great series, but give it a shot. It's the books they're long, and I found them really interesting, but they're very hardcore fantasy.
Are they like worse than Game of Thrones?
Worse in what regard?
Just in how expansive and daunting they can be.
They are more expansive in my opinion. Yes, like the lore goes real deep in the Witcher series. I didn't really find them daunting. Now, when you look back, by the time you get to I think there's 5 or 6 books in the main line. I could be wrong on that, but it's been a long time. When you get to the end of it, you're like, holy shit, how did we get here? Like the stuff they do with Ciri, like in season 1, she seems like just like the damsel in distress character. Season 2, you see her start to try and come into her own, but by the end of the series, not the TV series, but the book series, Ciri's a fucking badass. She is a bad motherfucker, and they go some places, and it actually has a lot more in common with the Dark Tower series, which I don't want to ruin anything about that series or this one, the original book series at least. They start getting into a lot of the same territories with worlds and stuff, if you will. So if you've read the Dark Tower, you know what I'm talking about. So anyway, yeah, but check out the books, check out the show. The show's really great, and it's got Henry Cavill in it. Of course, it's great. Nick doesn't know what he's talking about. He didn't watch it. So yeah, check it out if you are interested in The Witcher. Just have Henry in your prayers. We're praying for you, Henry, Daddy Henry. So
Daddy Henry.
All right, so from
John.
there, Witcher season 3 coming soon. Henry will be all right. All right, we're going to move into... This is an interesting story, and this is our first story that... I guess the Witcher thing was our first video game-related story, but this is another one that's video game-related, but also movie-related, and I found it interesting. And we're going to talk about Jurassic World for a minute. Not Jurassic World Dominion, or not Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom either. We're going to talk about Jurassic World. Where did Jurassic World come from? Jurassic World is kind of... The series is that's I guess series, not Jurassic Park, but the 3 Jurassic World movies are kind of divisive. The first one I think got fairly good. I think most people thought the first one it was fine. It was entertaining. I enjoyed it. I thought the first one was pretty good. It's fun. It's got some dumb shit in it, but it was dumb popcorn fun. It was solid enough. Second one I fucking hated, and the third one I fucking hated. They're just bad. But the first one I thought was okay. But for those of you that are... I didn't really see a point in Jurassic World, I'll give it that, but it was okay. But for those of you that were wondering why we got Jurassic World, why does it exist, and you're looking for someone to blame, I got a name for you. Because we have found out the original origins of Jurassic World that might surprise you. Before we jump into that, though, real quick, Nick, what are your how do you feel about Jurassic World? Not Park, but World, just as a whole. I know your thoughts on Dominion. We talked about that extensively, but Jurassic World is a franchise, and maybe the first movie. What do you think of that?
Well, Fright Film says it best in the chat. Chris Pratt is the corona to the Jurassic franchise, and I would 100% agree to that. You get a medal, Fright, for putting that in there. I don't like the series. I don't like the series at all. Jurassic World is like Force Awakens. This is a complete rip-off of Jurassic Park. It's terrible. It's not terrible. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is one of the most baffling things I've ever seen in my entire life when it comes to logic and reasoning and storytelling and why the hell they would why the hell would they exactly, why the hell would they build a volcano on fucking Isla Nublar, or why would they build a park on a volcanic planet or island or whatever. And then Jurassic World Dominion was just it's like when you get when you get a disease and you can't get rid of that disease. It's like that. It's just a wasteful time for 2.5 hours.
Dominion is the herpes of the franchise.
Exactly. The STD is Fallen Kingdom, and herpes is a continuation of that problem.
Gotcha.
And,
I'm with you for the most part. I probably thought a little bit more favorably of the first Jurassic World. Like I said, I didn't think it was needed at all. But since we did have it, I watched it. I was like, it's dumb fun. It's fine. I didn't mind Chris Pratt in that. I didn't love Chris Pratt in that. That's one of the issues with the whole series is those main characters, Chris Pratt, Dallas, Bryce Howard,
boring.
Whoever. Yeah, they're just nothing. They're just there. They don't have that same presence of the characters from the original movies. But this isn't a Jurassic Park review, but a Jurassic World. I think we both kind of say the first one's it's fine. ish. It's fine.
Yeah,
it
it's
exists.
not.
I'm not offended by it.
It's definitely not the worst. Yeah.
Yeah, especially, but the sequel sucked. But as far as Jurassic Park is in general, why do we have it? Well, I have answers for you all, and I was kind of
Hooray.
surprised by this. So, in a recent interview, well, actually, it was a Twitter thread. Seamus Blackley, for those of you that don't know who he is the original. He's called the creator of the Xbox, the Microsoft Xbox. He's not the only person. Obviously, it was a team, but he was the head of that team. He was a big creative force behind the Direct Xbox, or the Xbox as it came to be known. And he was on at Microsoft for quite a while throughout that time, and I think into the 360 generation a little bit. But he left at some point to go do his own thing. Not good terms and all that. He has good things to say about his tenure there, but the creator of the Xbox. Now, just a little bit of backstory real quick. Prior to coming on to Microsoft to make the Xbox, or work at Microsoft and eventually make the Xbox, he worked for some other a video game publisher, or developer rather, and he made in 1998, and there is like you can look up some videos on, it's got an interesting story as to, he made a Jurassic Park game called Trespasser. Now, Trespasser in 1998 was not good. It had a lot of cool ideas, and what they wanted to do with it was actually pretty neat. But then budgets cut and things moved up, and they were told they had to do it. It ended up being a shadow of what they originally wanted, and it's an interesting story if you're into that kind of thing. Look it up. But anyway, Trespasser. He made a Jurassic Park game in 1998. Not good. He responded.
I actually remember that.
He dubs it a skid mark on his career. So, anyway, Seamus Blackley, creator of Xbox, said in 2012, Kathleen Kennedy, who apparently was one of the co-founders of DreamWorks with Steven Spielberg, informed him he should write a story and gameplay pitch for a new Jurassic Park game to show to Steven Spielberg and the co-presidents of Universal. So that's interesting. I didn't know that Kathleen Kennedy had anything to do with Universal and.
Well, no, she didn't. That was she didn't actually restart DreamWorks. She was a major producer for Spielberg.
Amblin, not DreamWorks.
Oh yeah. She was like a exec or something like Amblin or producer. She's worked with Spielberg since like the 80s or whatever.
Yeah. All right. She contacted Blackley and said, this was after he left Microsoft and he went to another game publisher or developer, and she said, hey, why don't you guys put a pitch together for a new Jurassic Park game, and we'll show it to Steven and the Universal execs, and because Steven Spielberg was apparently around 2010, wanting to go back to Jurassic Park and do something else. So they said, okay. He said, sure, I'll do that, because he said he was hoping for a game to make up for the Jurassic Park game he made in 98, Trespasser, which he described as poorly received skid mark. So they did that. He came up with an idea, and him and his team, they made a trailer. And I have that trailer, and we're going to watch that trailer.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's an old trailer, but yeah, we have that. I mean, 2012. Apparently, Spielberg is said to have loved the trailer, and the story was approved, so Blackley went about hiring developers to get to work. However, unfortunately, Universal had a change of management. As a result, everything was scrambled. So yeah, Seamus Blackley, the father of the Xbox, is who you can blame for Jurassic World. And because that was the name of the project, was Jurassic World, and some of the elements from his pitch are what ended up inspiring the movie and all that. And as you'll see from the trailer in a minute, you'll see some probably more in line with where Jurassic World ended up going. Now, whether the game could have been cool or not, I don't know. They had some. The article went on to talk about some of the elements that they were talking about. They wanted to be in it. It's going to be like you could. The dinosaurs and the people were going to work together against like worse people. I don't know. None of that matters. What matters is this is where it came from. Because apparently when the Universal restructured, they said, yeah, we're not going to do that game. But hey, that idea, think that could make a movie. But real quick, let's take a look at this trailer from 2012. Now, this, I will say, it doesn't look bad. This is someone recording it playing, but it's not. The sound is a little off, but actually the picture's pretty good. It's a fairly good quality. A good quality shot of it. It's not like Nick was talking, like down here at a theater. Yeah. So you'll hear some things in the background here or there. You'll hear some people talking a little bit, and that's what that is. That's why this is the one that's out there, and you can check this out yourself online. But all right, so let's check out this trailer real quick. Here is the Jurassic World, OG Jurassic World from 2012 concept trailer that ended up being Jurassic World as we know it, and then we'll discuss a little bit. So there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The Jurassic World original 2012 trailer from Mr. Blackley, creator of the Xbox. And that is what spawned, that is what started the Jurassic World that we know and love. So, Nick, I know this was the first time you've seen this and you weren't even aware of this story. What are your thoughts on this whole situation? And how do you now harbor some ill will towards Samus Blackley?
No, I don't harbor any ill will. He gave us something at least competent. That trailer did more for me than the whole three trilogy arc of Jurassic World. At least some dude gets eaten by a pterodactyl, and that's fine. But you know, it's weird that they never follow through on the game. Instead, we got those Jurassic Park building games, the ones with like the really bad voice work by Ian Malcolm or whatever, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah. So I think the trailer is cool. I think it could be cool, like see an open world. You know, maybe you're like a dinosaur or you're human trying to survive in this world, like an Alien vs Predator situation or something. It could have been cool.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. The whole time, because I was watching it and I was like, yeah, I can see some Jurassic World vibes. And obviously in the end it was called Jurassic World. That kind of gave it away. Mm-hmm. But every time there were two shots in this trailer where it showed the pterodactyl flying and it was like kind of looking down at the ocean, and it would fly away and it stayed on the ocean for just a minute. Nothing. It was just the ocean. I kept expecting that big fucking water dinosaur that's in Jurassic World. I think it's in both of them, in part 1 and 2, or one. It comes out at the screen in the trailer like that. I was like, "Yep, we're about to get that," and then I'm immediately going to be like, "There it is, Jurassic World." But no, it never did that. I thought it was odd that they focused on the water like that. But yeah, I mean, as far as like a concept trailer, apparently Steven Spielberg loved this, so good on him. I do wonder what. I mean, they restructured over at Universal apparently, and that's what put the kibosh on this, and they decided to go in the movie route instead. If Steven Spielberg loved this so much and he was wanting to get back into the Jurassic Park scene, I would assume he was eventually going to want to get into the movie side of things as well. Mm-hmm. I wonder what about that restructuring, since he loved this so much and they went ahead with it just in a cinematic version, why he didn't, show interest in coming back. he is just a director, but it's Steven fucking Spielberg. I couldn't imagine that even the higher ups at Universal, if he wanted to do it, I feel like he was gonna fucking do it. I don't feel like they would be able to be like, no. I mean, who knows? I guess they could tell him no, but it's fucking Steven Spielberg. You don't tell Steven Spielberg no. But I mean, I guess we'll never know. What we ended up was Jurassic World and the other two.
I think Steven Spielberg's just so busy with like the 65,000 projects he has on his plate that he's like, I just want to give it to someone who will take care of it. It's like when Joe Johnston did Jurassic Park 3. It's like he knows Joe Johnston's gonna produce and deliver something, but
yeah, he delivered something all right. A raptor going, Alan.
Lord.
I don't hate that movie as much as some people do, by the way, but still, yeah, it ain't great. Yeah, but I mean, there's not much more to say about this. I mean, it seems like Blackley was, wanting to make a solid game. And if you look back at the making of Trespasser, because it's one of those things that had such a checkered or a storied kind of development cycle that they have done stories about it, I think the guy's got some good ideas. And the ideas he had with Trespasser originally, even though it was the late 90s, while they may seem a bit antiquated now, they were fresh then. And I think he wants to make a solid-ass Jurassic Park game, but the guy just can't quite get there. He comes up with good ideas for these games, and then somebody's like, he gets there and either ends up making a crap game because they pull all his funding and tell him it's got to come out next week, or they just pull it and say, you know what, we're going to take your idea and we're going to make a fucking movie out of it. So fuck off. So he just can't quite catch a break when it comes to Jurassic World or Jurassic Park or whatever. So, but anyway, there's not much more to that. Just that right there. Just wanted to kind of enlighten the world that if you're looking for somebody to blame, if you hate Jurassic World and you're looking for somebody to blame, you now have your man. And he used to work for Xbox. And if you're one of those people that engages in the console wars and all that and loves to talk shit about Xbox, now you got more ammunition to talk shit about them and more. They brought us Jurassic World too, motherfuckers. You can also go to hell because it's some dumbass shit. But anyway, let's move on to I believe our last story of the day. I could be wrong. Yep. Our last story of the day. KOTOR. Knights of the Old Republic. Star Wars. A fabled game. A game that I played and I loved back. It was originally on the original Xbox. Made by BioWare, makers of Mass Effect and many other things. An amazing game. Some would say the best Star Wars game ever made. I do think Fallen Order was really good, but KOTOR is one of, if not the best Star Wars games, probably the best Star Wars story ever told. It is an amazing game. It is great. I recommend strongly anyone to get out there and play it. You can play it on pretty much anything now. However, we're not talking about old KOTOR. We're talking about new KOTOR because there was announced last year, I believe it was, or early this year, I can't remember, that KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic, was getting a remake. And everybody was like, yeah! And to tie into the whole console war bullshit, this was revealed in September 2021. That's right. The KOTOR remake has been described as a complete remake by Aspire Media. The game is scheduled to launch on PS5 and PC. They didn't give a date, but it was coming to console exclusive PS5. So PlayStation fans, the bad fans, not all of you, nothing wrong with it. I'm a fan of video games, but I do gravitate a bit more towards the Xbox when it comes to consoles. It's just my ecosystem of choice. But hey, I got a wall full of video games over here. I love them all. They were some of the more toxic fans were, we got KOTOR. It's like, it was exclusive to the Xbox 20 years ago, but still, whatever. I was excited it was coming. It was going to be on PC. I would have played it there. Was excited that it was coming because apparently KOTOR has been delayed. And it ain't good, ladies and gentlemen. This could be more than a delay. Aspire Media has abruptly fired art director Jason Miner and design director Brad Prince, both of whom were working on the KOTOR remake. In follow-up meetings with the team at large, the higher-ups told employees that the project has been put on hold indefinitely. In the meantime, the studio will seek out and pursue new contracts. Okay. indefinitely, not a good word when talking about delays. Firing the 2 people that were in charge of it, not good, because one thing that this doesn't, that I don't have here in my notes, is apparently they showed a demo. They've been working on this game for 3+ years, by the way, at this point. They showed a demo of the game, this total overhaul remake, that all we've seen was this little CG trailer with not Kylo Ren, Dark Revan here in the background. It just shows him come out of the darkness and turn a lightsaber on. That's all the public has seen. But they showed a trailer, or not a trailer, a demo to Lucas Arts, which is the owners of the property, and Sony, who are, I'm sure they're pumping some money into it too for it to be console exclusive. They showed it to them recently. And this 3-year in the works game that they showed a demo to, of a remake of a game, so you got a fucking template already, I'm just throwing that out there, was apparently so bad. We don't know what exactly was bad about it, but it was so bad, so underwhelming. They fired the 2 guys in charge and said, we're not doing this. We're going to go pursue new contracts. That means Aspyr was like, we need to get some other contracts to work on, because these independent companies like this, like Aspyr, they get paid for games that they have done and that make money. And if this one, they decided it's so bad or in such bad shape that we're not going to have it anytime soon, they said, well, we got to get some money coming in. Let's go make something else. So they have indefinitely suspended this, and they're going to go try and make some other games to get some money so they can keep their company afloat and then maybe come back to it. That's not good. That is not good at all. I would not be surprised if we, in this form, never hear of this game again. I mean, we'll hear about people talking about it, but I would not be surprised if the game is more or less canceled. Will we get a KOTOR remake at some point in time? Yeah, I doubt it'll be from Aspyr. And if it is, it's going to be a long time. And it's probably going to be a shadow of whatever it is that they put out, which might be a good thing because it doesn't sound like that was looking so hot. I know how I feel about it, Nick, because I love KOTOR. I don't know what your history with... I know you're a huge Star Wars fan, but I don't know what your history with Knights of the Old Republic is, KOTOR in general. What do you think of this?
I've always been, honestly, more of like a Republic Commando fan than KOTOR. I've never really gotten into KOTOR. I was going to get into KOTOR if this ever happened, this remake, and this is not a good sign. This not a good sign at all. Like, it must have been real bad. Like, this is like Duke Nukem level of bad. If they're talking about what they're talking about, they had to fire people because it was that bad. And think about wasting 3 years of your time to have nothing in return. And yeah. I don't know what to say. It's not good. One of the most baffling things.
Is not. I mean, because this happens to games a lot. I mean, games get delayed. They start from scratch on games and all that. But this is a smaller... Sony's not small. But Sony's not making this game. Aspyr Media is making this game. And Aspyr Media is an independent studio, so they don't have all the money in the world. They gotta keep their company afloat. They're right now, they don't have other contracts. They said, hey, we're stopping this. We're going to go find other contracts, come up with ideas, make those games, put them out, hopefully get paid on those, and then we'll maybe, they didn't say it, they said maybe come back to it. Who knows if they'll be able to, because they got to put something out that makes money. What if they put something out that doesn't make money? Video games take a long time to make. I mean, the contract this contract could be pulled from them and go to somebody else. That is a possibility. I'm sure somebody will throw that out there, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It doesn't look good. I would not be surprised. Like I said, I would actually be more surprised if this game does show back up in its current form. I feel fairly confident in saying that this is more or less canceled. As I said, I totally believe KOTOR is so popular that we will get some type of remake. They saw the fan reaction to them saying that they're going to remake it. Yeah, but I just think that this version of it, that the direction that they're going with this one, I don't know if that'll be the case. I'd be more interested in... I don't know how much money Sony pumped into it, because it's not their game. They may not have put any money into it. I don't know. I'm sure they paid something to have it be exclusive, or there's some type of incentive that they gave for it to be exclusive. I'm wondering what happened. Are they not sitting there like, hey, we did, this. where you're not giving us our game. So I do wonder what happens then, because then Aspire's got to deal with that. Like you've made a contract with this company and you're essentially breaking it now. So, and that might be one of the reasons they haven't said it's outright canceled, because that would be breaking a contract, and they'd have to, if they've received money for it, they would have to pay that money back. Maybe it was incentives. Exactly. I don't know. But yeah, it ain't looking good. Once again, there wasn't anything beyond this little super short teaser trailer that just showed Dark Revan, the main bad guy character, walking out of the darkness. I was interested in this though, but I can't really say I'm like too tore up about it, because I mean I've still got the originals right here, so I'm good, because those games are fantastic. I do wonder, man, how do you botch something that bad to where on the spot the two mains get fired and they just more or less cancel the whole goddamn thing right there? I mean, like I said, it's not officially canceled, but this ain't good, people. It is not good. Another, I'm not going to get too deep into it, but another aspect of it I want to say is, I know I talked about console war stuff a minute ago. I hate console wars, and I hate toxic fanboys. I don't hate fanboys. I mean, you can be a fan of something, be a fanboy, and not be toxic. Toxic fanboys, which is a lot of the people out there now. And if you look online, you'll see a lot of stuff about the Sony community and the PlayStation community, the toxic side of it. I will say that their toxic community is really fucking toxic. Not all of you, if you're a PlayStation fan, fantastic. I've got PS1, 2, 3, and maybe another one over there. I don't know. I enjoy all of them. But they, when this got announced, were like, ha ha, like little school kids. Like, ha ha, we got KOTOR, you don't, and all that. Like, sounded like Peter Griffin or some shit. And then, like, when Starfield was just delayed a few months, or a couple of months, till like the beginning of next year, I believe, they were, ha 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 ha. I'm like, why are you so happy that misfortunes, or just, you know, I don't understand that mentality, whatever. But now that this has happened, and this game is, even if it does eventually come out, it's going to be a long time, and it ain't looking good. Silent. Nobody's saying anything. Ain't nobody keeping that same fucking energy anymore. Where you at now? Where you at? But anyway, this sucks for the people that work for Aspire, because it's not good for their company. They've spent 3 years on this, and they are a smaller maker of games. And with these small companies like this, if they don't have money coming in, then they end up going out of business. And that sucks. I hope they don't, but I mean, they've made some good shit in the past, but we'll see. But me, myself, it sucks, because I would have been interested in playing this if it was good, but it sounds like in its current state, it was not good. But anywho, that, ladies and gentlemen, is that. That is the end of the show for today. Appreciate you guys all hanging out and coming and seeing us. Check me out on Twitch. Check me out on YouTube here where you're watching this. Check that, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the show. Don't forget that Nick has his 4-year What the Dub stream tonight. His 4-year anniversary What the Dub stream. Go check that out. At what time is it, Nick?
It'll be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, I think.
There you go. Yeah. So check that out. My stream will be the 3DO. I got a 3DO, and I will be doing a stream of some of the 3DO games I acquired of that tonight. Old game system, 30-some-odd year dream. I'd have one. We'll see if that dream pays off. But I'll be playing that tonight at 7 Pacific, 10 Eastern this evening. And our next show will be this Saturday at 12 Pacific, 3 Eastern, normal time. And we'll have some other stuff to talk about there. And yeah, check out my Teespring. I have a gaming channel that's I don't really do much with. I hope to start doing more with. Patreon, if you liked it and you want to support. And memberships will be coming to the channel soon if you're more interested in that. And, all that. Nothing else. I'll have a review of Super Pet, or DC's League of Super Pets. Friday-ish. Somewhere in there. I'm going to see that. And another movie possibly for Saturday on the show. We'll see how that works out. But Nick, tell everybody what you got going on and where they can find your stuff and all that junk.
Yeah, you can reach me at Movie Emporium on YouTube's and the Twitters and the Instagrams and all those good places. I have a couple of videos I'm doing reviews of here soon on a couple of films if I can get them out we'll see. But yeah, we'll catch you the live stream tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, everything's on Movie Emporium.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Go see that. Thanks to everybody who hung out. I saw Fright Films in the chat a good bit. Like I said, this is getting a little bit easier for me to do each Wednesday and Saturday, and I'm kind of honing things in, and I do hope to start interacting with the chat a bit more as the show goes on. Just trying to get a base going here before I start adding something else to it. But I feel like we're kind of hitting a rhythm of sorts, and I'm trying to keep the show down a bit, which, hey, we're under 2 hours. Show was under 2
hours this week.
Saturday was like 4 hours, but I'm trying to keep it in that time frame. You know, the show about 2 hours, multiple stories. So made a little bit more progress this week, but I do hope to start including the chat more in the show and getting more of you guys' views and stuff on there and asking, interacting with you guys more. So I appreciate you guys all hanging out today and seeing our little stories. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoy the channel. Check out Nick's channel and his go wish him a happy anniversary and play some What the Dub tonight when he starts playing that over on his channel. Movie Emporium, I'll be there for a little bit at least. And hope you guys have a good week. And I will see you then. Bye.